The recently released trailer for Peacemaker Season 2 looks promising, with Peacemaker entering a new dimension, the Justice Gang's arrival, and the major antagonist of the story revealed to be Rick Flag Sr., who is apparently hunting him down. In the 2021 film Suicide Squad, we saw a shady development of Peacemaker's character in the end, as he kills Rick Flag Jr. to stop him from exposing the government's dark secrets. But in 2022, Peacemaker got his own series, revealing himself to be a villain with a heart. We sympathize with his past traumas while also looking forward to his upcoming battles, and now, in Season 2, we can imagine the most imminent threat to his life is going to be Rick Flag Sr. So, who is this guy? Voiced and portrayed by Frank Grillo, Rick Flag Sr. is going to be an important character in the DCU. Apart from his identity as Flag Jr.'s father, he's much more than that. First debuted in the animated series of Creature Commandos, Rick Flag Sr. is a cinematic reimagination of a DC character from the 80s. In today's video, we're going to talk about his entire character arc as much as has been shown in the movies, as well as his origin in the comics. So let's dive in. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Number 1. Who is Rick Flag Sr.? Richard Bill Flag Sr., aka Rick Flag Sr., is the most highly decorated US general who appeared in Season 1 of Creature Commandos, the animated series released in 2024. Recruited by the director of Argus, Amanda Waller, he becomes the leader and field officer of the Creature Commandos, a Black Ops team formed of some metahuman prisoners of Belle Reve. Just 2 years after losing his son, Flag Sr. joins Argus and leads Task Force M to protect Elana Rostik in Pokolistan. Next, in James Gunn's Superman, we also see him appearing in Lex Luthor's Pentagon meeting along with other members of the US military and the FBI. Also, in the upcoming season of Peacemaker, he's going to play a major part in the story. Number 2. What was Rick Flag Sr.'s early military career like? General Flag Sr. has always been the most dedicated military officer, even though his reason for joining the military services was just to provide for his family and raise his son. In an operation in the Persian Gulf and later in the War of Jarhanpur, he fought with valor but was severely injured, getting a lifelong scar on his body. Later, he joined the Advanced Research Group of the United States, or Argus, and became the most trusted man of Amanda Waller. Number 3. How did Rick Flag Sr. lose his son? When Rick Flag Jr. was just an 18-year-old, he joined the military out of sheer love for his country and his desire to make it a better place. Later, he became the leader of Suicide Squad's mission, Task Force X, to destroy the illegal experiments of the people of Corto Maltese in the name of Project Starfish. But upon reaching there with his team and being face to face with the Thinker, he found out a dark truth about the American government. The Thinker, who was supervising the torturous experiments on the innocent people of the island, dropped the hint to Flag Jr. that both of them are serving the same master, which is none other than the US government itself. Flag Jr. had a hard time believing it, but eventually decided to expose the truth rather than keep his mouth shut. But Peacemaker was not going to let it happen, as it had the potential risk of destroying world peace. So a tense fight ensued between him and Flag Jr., who was eventually killed by the vigilante. 2 years later, after Flag Sr. joins Amanda, she assures him, saying that his son died a martyr's death. But Flag was curious as to why Congress had dismissed some of the activities of Task Force X, indicating that he is trying to collect data about the mission and is probably plotting his revenge. Number 4. Why did he join the Creature Commandos? Waller leads Flag Sr. to the metahuman prison section, where he meets some of the ferocious prisoners like Frankenstein's bride, Dr. Phosphorus, Nina Mazursky, Weasel, and G.I. Robot. Waller has gathered these prisoners to form her team, the Creature Commandos, with Flag Sr. as their leader, and she's all set to send them to Pokolistan, a US ally, under the threat of Cersei, a wicked witch of the Amazon. The princess of the Pokolistanian royal family, Elana Rostik, is in danger because at any time, Cersei can attempt an assassination on her. Even though the creature Commandos is a team made by the government officials, these prisoners cannot be completely trusted. As a dedicated military officer who has been serving his country for years, Flag Sr. takes the responsibility to carry out the mission with a team of convicted prisoners who are not at all safe to work with.
We've prepared a banquet for you, our honored guests.
Number 5. What happened between Rick Flag Sr. and Elana Rostik? At Poco Castle, the house of the Pokolistanian royal family, Elana Rostik welcomes the team, and Flag Sr. instantly gets fascinated by her beauty. Elana openly flirts with Flag, leading them to bond with each other in no time. In the evening, when Flag is chugging his beer, Elana comes over to have a chat with him. She starts by asking about his family, to see his emotionally vulnerable side. As Flag opens up about his grief for his son and his loneliness, Elana sympathizes with him. But later at night, she manages to take him inside her room and starts stripping, trying to seduce him. Flag Sr., dedicated to his mission, initially finds it to be a little inappropriate. Still, after being attacked by Phosphorus, when Elana nurses his wound, the two of them end up having sex.
It's just a matter of time, so yeah.
Number 6. How did Rick Flag Sr. handle Cersei's threat? Later that night, Flag is alerted by his team members that the bride and Nina have escaped the castle. So he quickly puts on his suit and storms out of the castle to look for them. Thankfully, he finds the bride, tied up inside the Frankenstein manor. Turns out Cersei has successfully made a distraction for Flag, getting him out of the castle so that she can assassinate the princess. Flag Sr. quickly returns to the castle and finds Cersei about to attack Elana. He fights against the troop of Themyscira, while Weasel and Phosphorus gravely injure Cersei by burning her face with phosphorus radiation. Although Elana wants the team to kill Cersei, Waller's strict order was just to capture her and take her to the headquarters of Argus. After bidding a warm goodbye to Elana, Flag Sr. heads back to America to interrogate Cersei and find out why she wanted to kill the princess. However, in the briefing session, Cersei reveals herself to be a clairvoyant who had a psychic vision of an apocalyptic future. Initially, nobody is ready to believe what she's saying, but Amanda puts her in a separate chamber to ask her what she saw. Cersei tells her about her vision of a bloody massacre of superheroes orchestrated by Elana Rostik, who has a sinister plan to take over the world. Waller then contracts a psychiatric professor, Dr. McPherson, who quickly comes to verify the accuracy of her statement. McPherson also confirms it to be true, escalating Waller's concern about the future. So she calls off the mission Task Force M and instead plans another operation to kill the princess. Number 7. What was his encounter with Eric Frankenstein like? All of these psychic visions and Cersei's real intention to save the world seem to be utter bullshit to Flag, and he constantly tries to stop Amanda from her mission to kill Elana, saying that he had spent time with her and knew her personally. But Amanda shuts him down, saying that having sex with her doesn't mean that he knows anything about her. Embarrassed and angry, Flag leaves the office and repeatedly tries to inform Elana about the danger, but he can't get her on the phone. Meanwhile, a giant-sized metahuman with bolts attached to his head, Eric Frankenstein, approaches him. Eric Frankenstein and the bride are both the creations of Victor Frankenstein, who created them thinking that they're destined to be with each other, but grossly, Victor got involved with the bride himself, even though he was a father figure to her. Since then, Eric Frankenstein, being obsessed with his bride, has been looking for her for decades. But every time he proposes to her, she knocks him out. Now, as he comes to find Flag leading a team with bride in it, he thinks that the two must be dating. So Frankenstein and Flag's initial meetup was nothing but a huge fight between them, which eventually led to a calm conclusion when Eric found out Flag Sr. was talking about the princess, Elana Rostik, not the bride. As Eric nags about meeting with bride, asking for Flag's help, he takes this opportunity to use him in his self-investigation to find out Cersei's real intention. The two of them sneak inside a university to keep an eye on McPherson and find that she's been acting weirdly with her students. Following her, they both enter her house and find McPherson's dead body on a chair. How did Clayface injure Flag Sr.? Flag finally manages to get Elana on the phone and warns her to get out of the castle right away, because Waller's gunning for her. But just as he hangs up, boom! Clayface shows up, ready to take them down. The shapeshifter absolutely wrecks Flag, leaving him badly hurt, until Eric steps in and blasts Clayface with a nanobomb detonator, making him explode. After that, Eric rushes Flag to the hospital, where Waller eventually checks up on him. However, it turns out that Cersei's vision was true, and Elana Rostik did make an evil plan to kill all the superheroes. After the team once again arrives at Poco Castle, Mina Mazursky is killed by Rostik, who later wants to do the same with the bride. But the bride remembers seeing Clayface with Rostik in a security tape of the castle, which helps her find out Elana's true nature, leading her to kill the princess. Flag Sr., recovered from his injuries, once again joins Argus. However, he is no longer the leader of Creature Commandos. Perhaps in the upcoming season of the animated series, we might see him as the new director of the organization. Number 9. What role did he play in the Baravian Jarhanpur War? In 2025, James Gunn's Superman featured Rick Flag Sr. as a military general in a meeting with Lex Luthor. After Superman stopped the Baravia Jarhanpur War without the government's intervention, Luthor finds an excuse to plot a scheme against his arch-enemy to present him as a national threat. Therefore, he arranges a meeting with the military organizations of the United States and asks them to get Superman in handcuffs because of his illegal intervention in the war without prior permission from the authorities. But, according to Flag and other attendees of the meeting, Superman might be naive, but he has good intention. And on what evidence would they be arresting him? For preventing a mass killing from happening? So, without legit proof that he's a threat to the nation, no one can lock him up, especially when he's an alien. This gives Luthor another opportunity to find solid evidence against Superman. So he invades the Fortress of Solitude in Antarctica and finds a message that Kal-El's parents have sent. This message has been partly corrupted, but Luthor manages to extract the whole message, exposing it to the media. The message is that Superman has been sent to Earth to conquer the world, which is unbelievable to many people, including Flag Sr. as well. But just as now there's hard proof against Superman, Flag has no other option but to arrest him. Later, after escaping the pocket universe of Luthor Corp, Superman stops another invasion of Jarhanpur by sending the Justice Gang on time. That might have satisfied Rick Flag Sr., but the bigger question remains when Mori asks about these metahumans making the ultimate decisions for them. Now, no matter which side Flag Sr. is on, he is responsible for intervening as a government official because the metahumans are no longer abiding by the rules, even though they intend to save humanity.
Even though you got us into some trouble over there, you're good at this.
Number 10. What is Rick Flag Sr.'s personality like? Rick Flag Sr. is the most dedicated military general, dutiful and reliable, making him the most loyal member of Argus. He possesses great leadership qualities, with a charismatic demeanor, exuding confidence in his task. He has a great skill of negotiation, as we saw in Creature Commandos, when Dr. Phosphorus, unable to trust him, took his nanobomb detonator and tried to burn him with his radiating powers. Flag Sr. managed to get the remote back from him and calmly assured him that they should work like a team instead of fighting among themselves. Phosphorus finally understood and realized that Flag had no intention to kill or torture them. But despite being a serious man with a no-nonsense vibe, he fell weak for Elana. He disregarded Cersei's vision, even though McPherson confirmed it to be true. His intimate relationship with Elana blinded him to the point that he didn't want to think that there could be a tiny possibility of the princess having a sinister plan. Until now, Rick Flag Sr. has been portrayed as a great personality with a tragic past in the animated series or films. But in the upcoming season of Peacemaker, we might get to see him in his villain arc, with a complicated personality that would be worth discussing.
Shh! The bride is trying to kill her. She's not gonna listen to what Elana has to say.
Number 11. What are Rick Flag Sr.'s abilities? Being the most decorated US general, Rick Flag Sr. is an expert tactician. As we saw in the animated series, he's well aware of his environment, and in dangerous situations, he can use the surrounding tools to defend himself. An expert in hand-to-hand combat, even with metahumans like Phosphorus, Cersei, and Eric Frankenstein, as well as an excellent marksman, Flag Sr. can knock out his enemies of any kind. But with Clayface, it didn't turn out as one could expect. Clayface's sudden attack on them left Rick Flag with a grave injury, eventually falling unconscious. Number 12. What weapons and gear does he use? Throughout Season 1 of Creature Commandos, Rick Flag Sr. is seen with a handgun, a Glock 17 that he always keeps with him in case of emergencies. During the fight in Poco Castle, this Glock 17 proved very useful for him. Apart from that, he is given a nanobomb detonator, giving shockwaves to the prisoners if they come to attack him.
Friendship is built on petroleum deposits, especially unmined ones in a backward ass.
Number 13. What relationships define Rick Flag Sr.? Flag Jr.'s death or his wife's departure defines the characteristics of Flag Sr. in his entire arc. Although a calm-minded individual, Flag would later turn out to be a vindictive father in pursuit of hunting Peacemaker. Not to mention, but in Flag Sr.'s life, Amanda Waller is like a mother figure whom he respects wholeheartedly, but what will happen if he finds out that it was Amanda Waller who sent the Suicide Squad on Task Force X to erase the evidence of the government's involvement in Project Starfish? The respect might turn into hatred and vindication, and we're excited to see how that turns out.
Elana Rostik, is she there?
I know speak English, call back.
No, listen.
Number 14. Rick Flag Sr. in comics, the original leader of Suicide Squadron. Now that we have covered almost everything about Flag Sr. from DCU, let's talk about his origin in the comics. Rick Flag Sr. was first featured in the 4th issue of 1987's Secret Origin comic book. Still, his real name was Richard Montgomery Flag Sr. He was an excellent military pilot who served for his country during the aftermath of World War II, leading the team of Suicide Squadron, a group of convicted soldiers. After the Justice Society of America was shut down in 1951, Harry Truman called Flag Sr. to lead the squadron's immediate successor, the Suicide Squad. After the war, he married Sharon Race and had a kid, named Richard Roger Flag Jr. But when he was just a 10-year-old boy, Flag Sr. died in a war after crashing his jet into a war wheel. Flag Sr. of the comics was killed in the very issue he debuted. But here's a twist. Real Flag Sr. debuted in 1987, while in fact Richard Roger Flag first appeared in a comic book in 1959, which is confusing for a lot of people. It means Rick Flag Jr. appeared 30 years earlier than he was actually born. So, let me break it down for you. Flag Jr. was the first Rick Flag the creators thought about, but to give him a tragic past, they later created his father's character who died for his country. Marvelous verdict. The DC Universe has repeatedly changed and reimagined its characters, giving them new arcs all the time. It's not that big of a deal until a character is loved and appreciated by the fans for their contributions to the story. With Gunn's DCU coming in, he has made significant changes in the story, recreating several characters. He has also reimagined Flag Sr., while taking some inspiration from the original one, and now, in Peacemaker Season 2, we will get to see more nuances in his storyline that would probably make this character more memorable in DCU than it was in the comic. On that note, this video comes to an end. If you liked the video, please make sure to comment down below and subscribe to this channel. Until then, goodbye, and see you at the next one. Thanks everyone.